Hey guys, it's the Simple Investor here. Today we're going to be taking a look at Meta Platforms and whether I think they're a buy, hold, or sell for me. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, be sure to do and like the video. It really helps out the channel. But let's get right to it. So on July 31st, Meta reported revenue of 39.07 billion, up 22% year over year. Their net income was up 73%, which is quite impressive. Their net income was 13.47 billion. Net profit margin very healthy at 34.46, up almost 42%. And their earnings per share here up to $5.16 a share, pardon me, up 73% year over year. Now, do keep in mind that this is masked a little bit. Meta has one of the most robust stock buyback programs on the market. But nevertheless, this is still quite impressive. And then looking at Meta's balance sheet here, their balance sheet is probably the thing that impresses me the most out of the stock. They have total assets of 230.24 billion. That's up 11.39%. Total liabilities, they are up 1.13%, up to 73.48 billion. Again, that's a really healthy debt to equity ratio. And if we look at their cash flow here, their net cash free cash flow here is down almost 33%, down to 6.88 billion. This is due to capital expenditures. Magnificent Seven technology companies are spending massive amounts towards AI, and Meta specifically is spending a lot of money on AI. They are one of the biggest customers of NVIDIA. I think there was a Twitter post I was reading the other day where the article that it was linked with was talking about how Meta spends upwards of 30% of their capital expenditures just with NVIDIA alone, which is quite astonishing. But back to the numbers here. So here, Meta's revenue here year over year and quarter over quarter. Let's go year over year first. It's grown quite nicely here. You've seen, we'll start December 2022, it was at 116 billion. And now you're looking at 149, almost $150 billion in yearly revenue. That's quite nicely. And then how that translates year over year quarterly growth, that goes lowest this time last year was 11%. Now just reported was 22%. So they've basically doubled their quarterly year over year growth, which is remarkable. And then quarterly revenue here, close to $40 billion, which is really impressive. And then in terms of valuation to price over earnings, Meta is sitting currently at almost a 25 PE ratio, 24.96, which is I quite like that PE ratio for them. Of course, I'd like it a little bit lower, along with a lower stock price, but I do quite like that. I like them under a 27 PE ratio. If you look at compare them to like Microsoft or Apple, I think both of those are at around a 35 price to earnings ratio, which is like way too expensive. You're paying a really hefty premium for those companies, but Google and Meta have really healthy PE ratios that make it attractive. And I mean, relative to the past, it's actually not too bad here. It's not too bad. You're getting a little bit of a discount relative to the past few years here, but something to keep in mind. And then back to the stock, kind of where they made their money here. I'm sure everyone has used a Meta service before, but their platforms are quite diverse. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger. That's where the core of their revenue comes from. That generates them $38.7 billion alone just off of advertising on those apps. And I mean, that's largely due to just the fact that 3.19 billion people, I think that's about 1 in 3 people in the world use their platforms daily, one of their platforms daily. That is mind-boggling to think of the amount of reach they have, and the fact too that in the developing world, the internet is actually starting to just be fully implemented. Some people are going to be using their platforms for the very first time and are just now getting exposed to it. So that is really promising to see with Meta. And then back to their revenue here, they made a little bit of money here off of their payments infrastructure. So this would be like Meta Pay on Facebook Marketplace. You put your credit, it's similar to Apple Pay. You put your credit card information on there, and it allows you to purchase easily something on a marketplace, or if you're buying something off of a third-party seller, like a business, you can do that as well. And then Meta takes a percentage off the transaction, kind of similar to how MasterCard and Visa make their money. And then here again, net profit quite healthy. And then you can just see where their expenditures are going. I mean, they're spending 20% of 27% of their revenue on research and development. I mean, as an investor and as a tech investor, as I am, I don't mind that because I see here where this is actually going to pay off, and we'll get more into that here in this video. But kind of shifting to where their only loss was with Reality Labs here. So this is MetaQuest. So this is their VR headset. Even Apple, like Apple Vision Pro, they don't even report sales figures on how those are selling. But I don't think it's quite well. I mean, they don't even want to report how many they've sold. But Meta is reported a loss this earnings here, $4 billion loss on those. But to be honest with you, that's not where Meta really wants to take their headsets. They don't want the headsets aren't the future for them, actually. It's going to be a part of Reality Labs, but it's not the future. The future for Meta in terms of wearables and VR is actually with the smart glasses. These are in this the smart glasses here are in their infancy stages. Meta is one of the only Meta is the only Magnificent Seven company that is actually investing large amounts of money into wearable VR glasses. I mean, right now they can't do much. I mean, they're only like 250 bucks, I think. And I mean, they can do very basic things. Nothing where I think someone would be persuaded to buy a Meta glasses over just a regular pair of glasses. But I mean, they can capture photos. You can have like a live stream. They've incorporated Meta AI Llama 3, I think, their latest large language model into these glasses. You can talk on the phone, listen to music, and then yeah, like live stream. Like it's very basic, but it's kind of like the Apple Watch. Like the Apple Watch and smartwatches in general started out as a fitness tracker, and then you see now with the Apple Watches, now they actually have health functionalities to them, and they've become a lot more functional, more than just tracking your fitness metrics and how your workout went. These here that are very basic, very much like a fitness watch, but it'll be interesting to see where they go. If this is going to be something that's going to be built upon, which I do think it will. It'll just be interesting to see, like, this is a long-term investment for Meta. But it'll be interesting to see where that goes. And then kind of back to here, the revenue, they're also spending a lot of money on AI. Like I was saying, capital expenditures go to NVIDIA, but where we're going to listen to Jim Cramer here, he's going to talk about kind of where their AI is going to take them in terms of incorporating it with their number one revenue driver, which is their ad business. Let's have a listen here to what Jim has to say about their AI and advertising play.
To train Llama 3. Okay, so that's writing a check to Jensen Huang for a huge amount of money. But the ROI is so clear here because Mark Zuckerberg told you that Meta AI, which I use and I find whimsical, is the number one. It's going to be number one. Number one in the GPT sweepstakes.
Is clearly also benefiting their advertising business.
Oh, my.
So, but you're talking about two separate things here, correct?
But I'm conflating greatness, David. I'm conflating greatness. If you go and listen to what he has to say, Mark, about advertising, I love this. Is AI also going to significantly evolve our services for advertisers in some exciting ways? It used to be advertisers came to us with specific audience. Okay, now they know the audience better than the advertisers. Soon, all that will happen is that advertisers will basically just be able to tell us a business objective, a budget, and we'll do it better than they can. So it's the end of a huge part of the economy, the people who figure out what to
figure those things out, but that is being powered by AI, which is making ad buys more efficient, more effective, and that's obviously helping what was a top line that was
absolutely
very.
So yeah, this is something that really intrigues me with Meta is the fact that they want to incorporate their AI into their ads business directly. And in fact, rather than having businesses use an ad agency to create the ad for them, Meta's AI can actually factor that into the price of the ad package that they're going to offer to a potential customer who's looking to purchase ad space. They can just say, the customer can go to Meta and not even have an objective. Their AI can take care of all of that. The customer just has to approve whether they like the ad or not. Meta AI can take care of everything. The customer doesn't have to go to an ad agency to create the ad and then go to Meta. the whole middleman of the ad process is eliminated, which is quite remarkable if they can monetize it. Personally, for me, that's one of the reasons why I'm bullish on Meta is that they are one companies where I think they can really monetize off of AI rather than some other companies like Microsoft, where it's more corporate solutions where they're focusing on um, monetizing off of AI. Same with Salesforce. I don't, and again, like with their chatbot, I don't see how they can really monetize off of it. But with Meta, Apple, and Google, those are the three companies who have vast amounts of data on that's available for their large language models and where they have potential to really monetize and incorporate AI into their core streams of revenue. So that's one of the reasons why I'm very bullish on Meta going forward, especially when it comes to AI. One of the ways I evaluate a stock to see if I want to invest in it is I look to see how it's performed over with the S&P 500 over the past 5 years. Again, I always remember that past performance is an indicative of future performance, but here you can see how Meta stock has actually outperformed the S&P 500 over the past 5 years by basically almost doubling the performance of the S&P 500, which is quite remarkable. I mean, you had this one dip here in 2022 for Meta where you could have got it at a steal of a deal. But this is definitely something to always keep in mind when you're investing in stocks is you never want to invest in a stock that you don't think is going to outperform the market because you're better to just buy the market instead, just buy the S&P 500 and not worry about analyzing stocks. But if you're really bullish on a stock and you really believe in its fundamentals, then investing in stocks is something to always consider and add to your portfolio. For me, I do a bit of both. I buy the S&P 500 and I buy individual stocks. And Meta is one of my core holdings. And I'm looking to aggressively add to it as well because I'm very bullish on the business. But always keep that in mind. But let me know what you think. For me, Meta's a buy right now. I like it under $500 a share. I'm quite bullish on their growth catalysts going forward. I really like them under a 25, like I said, 27 PE ratio. I think that's a really healthy buy-in for them. We're entering into a cutting cycle too right now, where the Fed is looking to stimulate the economy. So people are going to have access to cheaper cash. They're going to be looking to invest in their businesses. They're going to be looking to buy potentially more ads, and that's going to just benefit Meta. Which is going to be good also good for the business. And then also we're entering into an election year, which means there's going to be a lot of money spent on ads politically in the United States. So that's also another reason why I'm bullish on Meta. But let me know what you think. Is Meta a buy for you, a hold, or is it a sell? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.